different setup today. So no big whiskey wall behind me. I'm actually traveling for work today. And it just coincided with, we got through the first 12 days of the whiskey calendar. And a key demographic came back, not quite where we wanted it to be. So, a lot of things are going great with the whiskey calendar. Appreciate everybody, checking in every day. Shattering some records with overall viewership. But unfortunately, when it comes to the millennials, we're a little bit down. So, key demographic, especially in the whiskey world, you want to go younger with whiskey. So we're lucky enough to get the Bourbonista to come in and do today's video. So not only do we have the Bourbonista, but we have his millennial wife. And they both live in California. I mean, that's what's so cool about this. Like, our millennial numbers are just going to skyrocket. And when you see the fashion. So, without further ado, I'm going to have my whiskey with all of you watching the video as a spectator. And I turn it over to the Bourbonista.
Welcome to day 13. I don't know what else to say. Oh, to the good people. To the good people. Welcome to day 13.
So yeah, welcome to day 13. This is Matt and Callie postage from Marinda, California. Greg's youngest brother and his beautiful and cherished wife. So we want to thank Colonial Whiskey for letting us do a guest spot on day 13. We were fortunate enough to be one of the original Advent calendar recipients last year. Unfortunately, I had to drink pretty much the whole calendar within about 5 days because I got home, right around Christmas time, and Advent was over. So,
That's a long story.
yeah, different story.
To day 13.
To day 13 and our 2019 Whiskey Advent calendar. Today, we have one of my favorite whiskeys, and this is part of the reason that I've been given the privilege of speaking with the good people on day 13. Where did that come from? Where did the good people come
That's
from?
what your brother said.
He says that?
Yeah.
He says the good people?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I gotta pay more attention.
You do.
I'm so distracted by wearing the same clothes 5 days in a row. Because I don't listen to what he's saying. Just kidding. Speaking of clothes, you wanna mention anything?
He likes big butts.
And I cannot lie. Alright, so today we have Eagle Rare. Eagle Rare is a not less than 10-year bourbon from
Kentucky.
and who specifically is distilling.
Buffalo Trace.
You can tell this is our second run.
Take 2.
Take 2.
We got this.
Man, we did like 6 sound checks too, and I still don't know that we have it, but we're rolling with it anyway because we got a baby.
Low budget production.
Craig gives us no production money whatsoever. He just expects us to do this on our own. It's like it's a privilege or something. I guess I said that earlier as a privilege, but still send us a bone or two just to figure this out. Anyway, back to the whiskey. Eagle Rare, 10-year. Sorry.
I don't drink whiskey.
Callie doesn't drink whiskey yet. I'll probably end up drinking hers later anyway. She'll have a sip or two, but we'll see how it goes. So thanks to Greg and Ann and Riley and all of the Colonial Whiskey team. I know there's too many for me to remember all the names, but thanks to the entire staff, the support staff, the shareholders, the fans, everything. Thank you. Bozeman. So,
Do you choose
we
first
gotta
or
do the
do you-
smell thing.
do you smell
Yeah.
first?
I should have mentioned this earlier. I like whiskey, like pig butts. I cannot lie. But I don't always get scents, and I don't always get flavors. It's hard for me to distinguish the individual ones. I guess it's probably out of just not training myself. What do you get? You get anything? To me, it's either good or it's not good, and I like both kinds of those two varieties of the good and not good to me. But
Smells like whiskey.
smells like whiskey. Okay. Do you get any wood on the get some oak, vanilla. I think maybe there's some orange. But I only say those things because I looked this up earlier, so I would know what to look for, and I still don't really get them. So this is my favorite part, the tasting. So salute Colonial Whiskey Advent Calendar recipients. What'd you get in there?
A bug.
A bug? You know, in Scotland, they would take that bug and they'd squeeze it in their mouths and say, "Give it back, yup!" No joke. I don't know, I just like it. It's good. I mean, it's smooth, it doesn't burn me. I think it's around 90 proof, 93 proof, I'm not really sure. But that does provide a good segue into why all these bottles are on the table. So Eagle Rare is part of Buffalo Trace's Mash Bill 1. They also have Mash Bill 2, which is what a couple of these bottles are from. But in Mash Bill 1, there's a couple different things you might find in your local. Maybe you will, maybe you won't, but here's a couple options. So if you like Eagle Rare but you can't find it, here's some other things you could try that you maybe like. This is the Gateway Whiskey. Careful. Really good with ice. You like Buffalo Trace? Have you ever had it? Yeah.
Okay.
Probably just a little smell or a sip, but not much. But this one's really good, both straight and in cocktails.
Thanks for talking for me.
I just
Go ahead, Kara.
sometimes you don't remember. And you've got 3 kids.
What
Baby
price?
brain.
What price point is Buffalo Trace compared to Eagle Rare?
You can put those notes down there so we wouldn't forget to talk about things. So Eagle Rare probably depends on where you're at, but in this area it's like $30 to $40 a bottle. Usually, low 30s. It's probably about right. Low to mid 30s is where you should be getting it. If you're paying much more than that, you're probably overpaying, which is something that you have to watch out for in the whiskey world. Buffalo Trace, again, depending on where you're at, but around here in California, where everybody drinks wine, it's going for like $25 to $27 a bottle. So you'd probably prefer that I bought more of this.
Yeah.
And less of some of the other ones. But yeah, so some other mash bill ones. You've got Colonel Taylor. That's a lovely whiskey if you can find those, single barrel or small batch. The single barrel I think is usually around 60, mid 60s. Small batch is less, like 40. These are some ones that you won't find. You won't find Stag Junior. You should find Stag Junior, especially if you're in New Hampshire. They have a lot of Stag Junior up there, as I understand it. But that one's really strong. Comes out barrel proof, so 65% volume by alcohol. So what proof would that be, Callie? 65%.
That's not my strong.
This is a 130 proof, so it comes out really strong. And if you remember that last Christmas, this was something that Greg and I got to sample on. I haven't actually had any of it since then, but this is a very fine whiskey. This is part of Buffalo Trace's Antique Collection. George T. Stagg won this in the lottery. It's 124 proof, so it's just the daddy of Stagg Junior. The reason I mention that is because Buffalo Trace, their Antique Collection, also includes a 17-year Eagle Rare. This one's 10, if I didn't say that already, or not less than 10. But the 17-year only comes out once a year, and it's pretty hard to come by. I've actually never even seen it in a bar or anything, so I don't know if any of you have, but if you have, let me know where that is, because like I said, I like me some Eagle Rare. These 3 guys here from Buffalo Trace's Mash Bill 2, there's a couple other bottles. I think Greg has an Elmer T. Lee, which is one that I'd love to get my hands on at some point, but this is Blanton's Hancock's President's Reserve. I assume that has something to do with President Hancock, God rest his soul. I like that one. I was celebrating President Hancock the other day. Was Hancock a president? He wasn't even a president. Oh
No,
man.
No.
I used to get A's in history too. He was the signer on
Too
the
much of
Declaration
this.
of the on the Declaration of Independence. He wrote it really big so the king could see it even without his spectacles.
Coming back around.
It's all coming back to now.
Coming back.
The other one over there is Rock Hill Farms, which is another mash bill too. And over there by the lovely Callie Rebecca, these are a couple Bowman Brothers whiskeys. I got the John Jay, which is the single barrel, and the Bowman Brothers, which is the small batch. Those are actually Virginia whiskeys that head over to Virginia. They're mash bill 1 and mash bill 2 Buffalo Trace, but they head over to Virginia. Those two you can get between $20 and $40 or $50 at the most. But a lot of varieties in the Buffalo Trace lineup. Check out their website. They've got descriptions of everything. Yeah, I kind of rambled on again. Remember, this is take 2.
Sound check 8. Take 2.
Anything you want to say on our way out?
Merry Christmas to the good people.
Merry Christmas to the good people.
Thank you, Colonial Whiskey.
Thanks, Gary.
Cheers.
And Ann, and Riley, and Bozeman. Cheers.